what is branding? Number 2, is there an American brand? Number 3, is there an African brand? Branding is therefore all about creating an identity for a company that people and customers, as well as non-customers alike, will remember. Therefore, and I quote, at the most basic level, a brand is a set of both tangible and intangible items, stories, illustrations, activities, statements, culture, and much more that collectively invite an individual or entity to enter into a memorable relationship with a business. This customer relationship and experience will in turn generate brand equity for the business and thereby lead to new and repeat sales. And according to the Oxford Dictionary, long before the time of William Shakespeare, the practice of branding animals was utilized to indicate ownership in England. And I want to add that there is another dimension of this branding of animals, which is very germane to us as as people of Africa and African descent. And that is the branding of enslaved Africans. When some of the European chartered companies along the coast of Africa purchased African peoples as slaves, they branded them with the initials of the company that was doing the buying. So that is what branding is. Of course, under normal circumstances, I'll walk you quickly through the history of branding, but let me move on to talk about something else. Is there a brand America? Is there an American brand? I am mindful of the fact that America is a country and Africa is a continent. In fact, the second largest continent. And if you want to tease out the American brand, I would suggest that you listen to President Barack Obama talk about certain characteristics of the American spirit. Many a time Barack Obama has talked about American exceptionalism. What is American exceptionalism? This is the can-do spirit of this country. The can-do spirit of a country and a people who do not give up. American exceptionalism refers to what? The rugged individualism of the people of this country. When the first Europeans arrived in this country, they settled along the eastern seaboard, New York, Virginia, DC, the Carolinas. And then gradually they expanded westwards. They conquered the frontier. They conquered the wilderness. Thus was born the myth of the Wild West, the Wild, Wild West. The concept that the individual can do whatever he sets his or her mind to do. And so when President Obama chose as the theme of his campaign, Si se puede, yes we can, he was tapping into this dimension of American history. He was tapping into this understanding. And therefore, what is the American brand? The American brand is that it is a land of opportunity. It is a land where people can grow up to their potential. It is the land where the sky is the limit. And it is the land where an African father or an American mother can have a child who would grow to become the President of the United States of America. This is also the story of Marco Rubio. Again, the same narrative. In addition, we are often told this is the best country on earth, the strongest country on earth, the country with the brightest and the best, the land of the free, the home of the brave. Come to think of it, it may be the reason why all of us are here. Tapping into this American exceptionalism. So, at this point, let me juxtapose this American exceptionalism with the African brand. So what is brand Africa? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to suggest that if you want to scope out brand Africa, watch television. What is Africa on American television? That is brand Africa. On American television, brand Africa is a broken Africa. Brand Africa is an exotic Africa. Brand Africa is an Africa where nothing works. Brand Africa is an unspoiled Africa where you can meet verdant vegetation at its best. Brand Africa is a turbulent Africa, a land of child soldiers and civil wars around amok. An Africa of Boko Haram, that is brand Africa. In the past, I want to suggest, even another brand was the land of HIV/AIDS. Listening to talking heads on television, one would think that maybe the population of Africa will be wiped out the surface of the earth. Of course, another classic brand is what? The land of corruption. As if Africans invented corruption. Don't get me wrong, I am not implying that Africa is a paradise, that all is nice and dandy. But this is where I want to take an exception. You see, I am convinced that Africa is full of the fabulous. Africa is full of the very good, the excellent. Africa is full of the good. Africa is full of the bad. Africa is full of the ugly. So for me, it's that totality which is the African brand. And so if you take TV channels dealing with safari, or dealing with National Geographic, or the TV channel that is always showing animals, I ask myself the question, where are the people? Are there no people in this place? When someone says to me, oh, Africa is too far away, my answer is, China is too. You see, the branding of Africa is negative if you watch television, if you read newspapers. So if this is the African brand, the broken Africa, unspoiled Africa, exotic Africa, how do we rebrand this perspective? How do we rebrand this perspective? Number one, we are rebranding Africa. We are rebranding Africa by being here, by being at this event. And so I want to thank Bliss Africa for what you have done. You have invited people to see, to touch, to smell, to eat African food. Above all, you have invited people to hear something that may break their mind and get them to question what they read or what they see on television. You see, by organizing this event, you are hinting at African innovation, African productivity, African creativity. I mean, just look around this room. Where else will you see this? Think about it. Where else will you see this? Similarly, on March the 15th, the United Ghanaians Association of South Florida will celebrate the 57th independence anniversary of Ghana. And if you take that event in total, we are again showcasing Africa as a brand to people. People in the diaspora, to Americans, to all in the community. We are saying to them, come and celebrate with us. Come and be alongside us. Let us share our culture with you. Let us also share our story, the story of Ghana. Black History Month should be another vehicle for rebranding Africa. Of course, we know how it started. Africa History Week, Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson, the whole 9 yards. Here is the question. What do school children learn about Africa in this country? If you are a teacher, you know the answer. If you are a parent, you know the answer. Your children bring their school work home. Have they come with any assignments dealing with Africa? I'm not implying there is nothing. But around 2004, the Florida legislature passed a law, the Florida Mandate, which mandated schools to infuse African and African American history into the curriculum. I want to suggest to you it has gone nowhere. And that is part of the problem. Yes, February is the shortest month in the year. And why black folks get the shortest month in the year, I don't know. But I'll take anything that I get. You see, I want to suggest that we should liaise with the school system. And if some of you are teachers, help us. We should infuse, we should be in the school system, talking about Africa, performing Africa, reading Africa, watching Africa. Whether it's documentary or whether it's videos. We should teach African descended children the history of their ancestors and share our culture and our story with them. That way we can empower them. That way we can help them to become grounded in their identity. That, I believe, is rebranding Africa. And believe me, I know how difficult it is to try to do this in the school system. A system that has made no space or no serious space for the interrogation of African history. The Ghana American Chamber of Commerce has been at the forefront of organizing public lectures. Over the past 2 years, there have been lectures on Kwame Nkrumah, on Chinua Achebe, on Nelson Mandela. We can do panel discussions. We can do coffee, table talk, so to speak. We can do small, intimate discussions with friends, colleagues, and all of this, or all of these, can help us to rebrand Africa, to interrogate what we hear or what we hear people say, and do about Africa. Little drops of water make a mighty ocean. Whatever little we can do. I have forced myself to become a photographer for this reason. Images, a picture tells so many stories. And so I have become a photographer so I can bring my photography into my classroom so that the students can see, so that they can talk about the Africa that I want them to see, in addition to what they already see on television. Study abroad. If you get a chance to study abroad, those of you who have been born here, if you are American, if you are of African descent, if you get a chance to do study abroad, take advantage and go to any African country. When I started, I would take them there because I want them to see, I want them to feel, I want them to hear, I want them to eat, I want them to drink. And again, if I can tell you a story, this is about 10 years ago. The second time that I was taking students to Ghana, this is about 42-year-old woman. She said, well, you know, I have two, what do you call them, cartons of water. Will that be enough? She had bought bottled water and wanted to take this from Miami to Ghana. So I said, okay, let's talk about this. Give me a list of the types of bottled water you want. Whichever type, you give me a list, don't worry. I will make sure that when we arrive at the airport and we come out of the airport, the water will be there. Whichever type. Because this is, I mean, if somebody says I have to take bottled water from America to Ghana, God have mercy. So I started studying abroad because I wanted them to see for themselves, walk the streets of Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, Elmina, talk to people, and form their own opinions. Of course, we have not been able to go to Ghana over the past 10 years. But this year we are trying to. Another way to rebrand Africa is what Miami-Dade County is doing through its International Trade Office. Our friend, our comrade Desmond Alufohai is out of the country at this point in time on a visit to Asia. He had taken a trade mission to Nairobi, to Kenya. This March he is going to South Africa. These are the exchanges that we need to do to rebrand Africa. Come to think of it, over the past 4 or 5 years, when the global economy is in trouble, some of the fastest growing economies are in Africa. Out of the top 20, 5 are in Africa. Africa is doing well. Some economies are doing well. Yes, we are mindful of the problems in the Congo. We are mindful of the problems in parts of West Africa. We are mindful of Boko Haram. We are mindful of the Congo, Rwanda corridor. But economies are vibrant. African peoples are vibrant. The problems notwithstanding. So if you focus only on what you see on television and what you read in the newspapers, you will think that the sky is falling all over Africa. There are other things we can do, things that we don't usually do. Have you ever thought about writing an opinion piece in a newspaper? Have you ever thought about writing something for a magazine? Have you ever thought about writing something for the web page, for the internet? Every February, I organize an art exhibition. And I do it on purpose, because I want to use various media to interrogate the African experience. This year, the art exhibition is titled Legacies, Social Justice, Past and Present. And I have pictures taken in Africa. I have an artist from Atlanta coming. I have a Haitian artist also participating. One of the artists, the journalist who is coming, if you watch NBC6, Julia Yabo. Julia Yabo was in East Africa, was in Kenya, Tanzania, I believe Uganda and Ethiopia, working on a movie. And so she took photographs. And she was this morning on NBC6 talking about it. She will be at a university on Wednesday to talk about her photographs. But on Saturday, February the 15th, if you have the time and if you have the inclination, come to the University of Miami, come to the Wesley Gallery, which is about 50 meters from the main gate on Stanford Drive. Because these are all measures, these are all elements by which I am trying to interrogate the African experience. It is already late, I don't want to keep on going. But let me say this. All of us, whatever opportunity we have, whatever platform, it is very important to rebrand Africa. Yes, there are problems in Africa. I live in South Florida. When I go to Overton, I see problems. When I go to Little Haiti, I see problems. Even away from the White House, a couple of blocks away, you see the poor community there. So, poverty is everywhere. That problem is everywhere. West Grove. But let us remember, by the way, Miami was built by black people. That is another story. The enslaved Africans who came from St. Augustine and the Africans from the Bahamas who cut the mangrove swamp, that is now Bayfront Park, so that the city of Miami will be built. My point, Africans are vibrant people, Africans are people of the world, Africans have survived anything, Africans will continue to thrive and do well. So whenever you get the opportunity, visit Africa, go on a trip. Somebody will win the ticket tonight, the free trip to Africa. But I would encourage you to save over 3 years and then visit. And then see for yourself, hear for yourself, talk to people, rather than always feeding into the programs of these TV stations that have their own agendas as well. So let us appreciate Africa, let us discover Africa, let us read about Africa, and if you are interested in interrogating Africa some more, I would love to do that at another time. And on this note, I would like to thank the members of the United Ghanaians Association of South London who are live members. I'd like to thank our friends from the Gambia, from Nigeria, from Jamaica, everyone who has been here. And above all, to Busonia, Bisayo, above all, thank you for this opportunity to share a few thoughts on this subject of rebranding Africa. Keep on doing what you're doing because you're already rebranding Africa. And let us pray that we can do more of these all over South Africa. Thank you very much.